Testing. Mm. All right. We are live a couple minutes early. Don't know if anyone's here yet. I'm going to work on some original magic cards today. I thought that'd be fun. So I have a list here of ideas that I've written down that I'm thinking about making cards for. I'm not necessarily going to go in this order. For instance, we start with this green Necro. I think that could be a fun one. I'm just not sure exactly where to start. Probably be a rare. So Necropotence. Let's see, what does it do? You skip your draw. You skip your draw. You pay 1 to draw. And then you exile cards you discard. So we want to do something like that. Something in the spirit, so it's going to be an enchantment. I don't know if we'll make it a legendary enchantment. I'll think about that. I don't really have a name for it yet either. Like Necro is a good name. I wonder if there's like an opposite. I wonder if there's an opposite. So necro like, let's see here. We can find a, so related to necromancy, of course. Bring back from the dead. So let's see. So we want to give life. So right. The opposite of necro, an antonym is murder, but exactly what we're looking for here. So bio is interesting. Necropotence, bioluminance. I don't want the opposite. Bioessence. Could be interesting. I mean, sometimes the name is just as important. Usually as important. I think bioessence is kind of a cool. Let's try that. Fluid, right? We can always change these things. We go bioessence. Necropotence, bioessence. Okay, so bioessence is going to give. You're going to get cards somehow. I mean, that's the main definition of a necropotence card, is you're going to be getting cards, right? The straight up counterpart would be like gain life to draw cards. But that'd be way too strong, obviously. So let's see. I think the 3 green enchantment thing is good. I think we'll keep a hold of that. There we go. Okay, instead of cards getting exiled, how about they reshuffle? Okay, I like that. Well, normally this is pay 1 life to draw. So you, Necropotence, you're not drawing, you're paying life, setting aside the card. You're skipping your draw. I mean, in a way, recycle is kind of like a green Necropotence, but I guess I don't have to reshuffle. I think we just need shuffle. If you would discard a card, shuffle that card into your library. Okay, I like that. That's a very minor change. I mean, sometimes it's how these things work. Like if you look at the new Yawgmoth's Will, it's essentially if we can see this here. Yeah, it's essentially a Yawgmoth's Will, except it has suspend 4. So they just put a little twist on it, right? So we could do a little twist, or we could do a big twist. That's what's exciting. So let's see here. Pay life to draw a card. I like gaining life. Okay, Colonel Nature, thanks for joining the stream here. Let me see what you're saying here. Before anyone starts this, we definitely need way more pseudo keywords, as in can't be countered except this, can't be targeted except this. Every single keyword needs. I'm good, thanks. Every single keyword needs to be redone this way. Makes for actual interesting back and forth play and limits possibilities of interaction. Wizard of the Coast, hire me. You are on something with ward mechanic. So I feel like you're almost saying 2 different things here. Like I agree that, and I think they are going in this direction where they're making things more concise. Like for instance, then necro could be a keyword in the sense that it means to set aside the top card of your library, paying a life, and then at the end of your turn, putting that card into your hand. That could be just like a necro for 1. I don't know, but okay. So making for actual interesting back and forth plays and limits the possibilities of broken interactions. I feel like that's a totally different thing. I don't know if that's in addition related to the first part with the condensing of, because there was a lot of words on magic cards. My friend Doug will be happy to go off on that, but as far as how that would affect interactions, I guess if you're just using shortcut words, then that makes things a little quicker, a little more what's the word, a little more like concise. So I like this. I almost want to, how do we set aside a card? Skip draw. How about if you would draw? I always like that with green. If you would draw, so we get a bit of abundance thing here happening. If you would draw, instead, you may. Hey, Metal Eggs, what's up, brother? Doing something a little different here. Making magic cards. I'm working on a green version of Necropotence. Because I thought that would be a fun idea, seeing as they're doing a lot of this, like, what is black is green lately. I mean, I guess I went back as far as they made Recycle, and then they made a black version of Recycle that's exactly the same. How you doing? Would draw card. Instead, I feel like I'm almost going like a little bit of abundance like this. Yeah, I agree, Colonel. They, I think they are going to sort of work towards making more keyword type effects. I think that's a smart, make it more concise. You would draw a card instead. Do you want to reveal? Would you name? So abundance is name land or non-land, and then you reveal until you get that kind. You put it into your hand. We draw a card. So it's got to be better than abundance. I mean, you got to always be careful with these card draw replacement effects too, because they can be abused. Civil Library Abundance, for instance, is a very strong combo. Um, okay, and it should probably be creature related. We draw a card. Instead, reveal. Reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal a non-creature card. Exile those cards at the end of your turn. Put the exiled cards into your hand. So let's fix the beginning here. So we'll go back to skip your draw. Skip your draw step. This could become a lot of here at the beginning. Your upkeep. Let's fix the spelling on this. Cards on top of your library. This could be interesting. So let's see what you're suggesting here. Place cards face down, reveal, and put any number of cards in your hand. You can only keep creatures in your hand this way. Let's see. That's interesting. Draw. So at the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-creature card. Exile those cards. Becoming pretty wordy. I gotta go beginning again. And beginning of your end step. Beginning of your end step. I don't have to say those here. Do they say those? Put those cards, those exile cards. Put the exile cards to your hand. If you would discard a card, shuffle that card into your library. I still like that because that makes tutoring hard. Now the question is, can we find some art for this card? That's something that's fun. Now, because this isn't for commercial purposes, we're just like going to grab any art that we like and put it in, and we'll throw a little credit down the bottom. But essentially, this isn't going to lead to anything monetary, so we don't really have to worry about stealing art, I don't think. I wonder if we could find something with creatures. There's definitely some cool stuff here. Bioessence. That's a pretty interesting picture. Let's try that for now. Let's just try this and see how it looks here. Where's the folder? So, I mean, that looks like a lot of... That's cool. You got like a hippo in there with some crazy teeth. Alright, Bioessence, 3 green, enchantment, skip your draw step. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library. Until you reveal a non-creature card, exile those cards. At the beginning of your end step, put the exiled cards into your hand. If you would discard a card, shuffle that card into your library. So this is Peter Paul Rubens. Make sure to get that in there. Put this here at the bottom. Yeah, I kind of like that. Now I might come back to that because it may not be perfect. Could use some adjustments, but I think that's a good start. And like I say, like it's like making a movie or a painting. When are you done? It's always hard to say. So I am curious to try. So we'll put a pin in that, as they say. And this one's going to be very interesting. This is going to be a Planeswalker. We're going to make it a mythic. I'm already certain of that. Only negative. Oh, so I got to change this card style. I think that's what we want. Is there a better version of a Planeswalker? I thought there was, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I think that's all there is for Planeswalkers. Where do we put? So, -1. -2. And, I mean, I guess there could be a 0. I guess that's might be how it looks. So, negative Planeswalker. So are we going to use a Planeswalker that already exists, or are we going to make a new character? That's a tough call. What are some of your favorite Planeswalkers? What would be a good negative? I mean, a negative Planeswalker right away, I'm thinking black. Or red. Be black or red. You have to put legendary. You put a Planeswalker. Probably, I'm guessing. Yeah, I think they'll say legendary. That's easy enough to do. So the idea is that the Planeswalker only has negative effects, but that possibly those negative effects could be a positive in the right deck in the right situation. Um, so I guess donating could be a possibility, or like let's see, like sacrificing a permanent, like a Claws of Gix effect, is potentially a good effect if you in the right situation. Um, like sacrifice a permanent. I don't think you have to put U control. That's good enough. -1, sacrifice a permanent. So if you had Skull Clamp in play, you would use this, and you would draw 2 cards. So that would be a benefit. -2. I mean, I don't even know about -2. I have to -1. Another -1. Discarding card maybe. Like to waste not. That would be or no, not waste not. There's the other creature that's like a waste not for your own things. Losing a life is generally not good. Hard to abuse losing a life. Sacking a permanent isn't bad. I guess milling yourself kind of gets around that. I mean, I think that's my friend. I'm inspired by his idea of this, and I think he sent me something along those lines. I'm wondering what. Holy cow! Um, yeah, sacrificing a permanent. I mean, there's not a lot of things you can do that are negative. Like you can lose life, you could mill cards, you could discard cards, you could sacrifice permanents, you could skip a turn. So like, okay, so what if it actually has a nice big positive? So let's say it costs 6 and it's like a huge positive. Um, so +1, sacrifice permanent. +1, um, discard. I'm just spitballing here. Um, discard a card. And say it comes into play with like 2 loyalty. So it could die real easy. And it could, and then if you could build it up. So the thing is that's not actually, is that, you have to do that, right? Yeah, you'd have to discard a card. You'd have to sack a permanent to put counters on it. And then what's a nice big effect? I mean, we could go with the Necro theme. You just get a Necro emblem. Do I give emblems? It's a tough decision. Emblem or just like a one-time effect that you keep doing over and over again. And again, what are we going to be able to... So this is looking like a black card. Could be a Liliana. I mean, Tevesh. We could make a new Tevesh card because I actually like that card. Tevesh. Tevesh. The... Tevesh who sacrifices all. Kind of a cool name. And then probably be like a couple of black. kind of a big... I mean, his other one is 5. Let's have a little look at Devesh here. Devesh that. Doom of Fools. I guess if that's his full name, I should probably use his full name. Might be a little on the nose. And then The problem is we're not going to really find another. I don't know if we can. I mean, he's kind of a squid-looking character. Yeah, he should get 5 out of 5 stars with 0 votes. I don't know how that works. So let's go humanoid squid. Human. There's some interesting options. The trick is always not accidentally picking something that's already a magic card. That's pretty cool. It's got a submarine, which is a little unfortunate. Didn't have that submarine. I think it'd be pretty cool. This is a cool painting. I might be able to use that actually. And then Crater is Grand Failure. Let's try that out. I feel like that actually looks pretty cool. Do we change the name now to like Hidden Evil or something like that? Evil. Because you're like, oh, it's not permanent, it's discarding a card. And then we gotta go -6. Be a plus in there? -6. You win the game? So you gotta pump up, pump up, pump. You gotta pump this up like 4 times, sacrificing permanents, discarding cards. So you really need a good payoff here. And it might die pretty early. I mean, I guess we'll be on 3 right away, so that's okay. What's a good payoff for this guy? Return to play. Actually, return to play all permanents. How do I spell permanent? All permanents from your grave. Turn to play all permanents in your graveyard. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that. How do we adjust this image now? rebuild it. I don't wanna. Can't go up or down really. There we go. That's what I want to do. Kind of weird to have an umbrella. Something you see in Magic very often, but I see. What do you guys think? Is that a keeper? I think that's kind of cool. Again, these are fluid. Until they're published and played, you know, you can always go back and be like, oh, let's make some changes. But for now, I think that's kind of cool. All right, what do we got next on the list here? Mana Crisp. Okay, this will be a fun one. Not really sure what I'm thinking behind the idea. I just have a name. Probably going to be an artifact. And it'll cost 1 or 0, I'm sure. We always want more 0-drop artifacts, right? Probably be... Could be a common. So Mana Crisp, it's kind of like a chip or something. You just eat it and it's gone. So it's kind of like a lotus petal. I mean, if it was a 1-turn soaring, that'd be interesting. That might be like broken. You can keep playing things. Sacrifice. Mana Crisp. Oh. Hold on. This needs to be a comma. This is a colon. Add to your mana pool. So it's essentially a 1-turn soaring. That could be kind of cool. I wonder what kind of art we can find for this, though. This is going to be a little bit tougher. That's very... It's kind of like a soaring. If we put painting, I always like going painting. If we go painting and soaring, we'll get all kinds of cool things. This, oh yeah. I mean, there's like so much cool original art too that people have made, especially around soaring. I mean, yeah, we can't use the actual soaring. Ah, this is actually funny because it looks like a potato chip. Like somebody's original art, kind of like that. Okay, so we can't have soaring. Mana. What does mana look like when you type in painting? And it's gotta be subtle, right? And it's like kind of colorless, which is tough as well. If we're going to this like soaring route, I mean, adding 2 mana of any color would be like Black Lotus is 3 mana of any one color for 0. So if it was 2 mana of any one color for 1, that's, I mean, it's the most solid ramp. I mean, if it came into play tapped, that'd be kind of interesting. That's Mana Confluence. Did somebody actually, this must be a real card, right? Right, we won't use that then. Like, this is just a cool painting. Wonder if we can find out who the artist is. Oh, Steven Mana Drink. The guy's name is Mana? Oh, that's curious. Like, look at this. Okay, let's write your name down here. Cool dude. Yeah, kind of like that. That would work. Let's see how it fits. It's almost kind of got a bit of a Lotus feel to it, doesn't it? Let's fix the aspect ratio a little bit here. More of this color. I don't know which side I like. The top, I think. Mana Crisp, add 2 mana of any one color to your mana pool. Mana Crisp enters the battlefield tapped. Oh, let's make this really interesting. If it's your turn, Mana Crisp enters the battlefield tapped. If you can somehow play this on an opponent's turn, then it's untapped. That's kind of fun. Yeah, that could be, let's sneak an extra color in there. It's almost like, in the right situation, it would be essentially like another Elvish Spirit Guide or Simian Spirit Guide. Yeah. All right, let's add another card. What are we on now? Okay, Savines Reclamation Sage. I thought this would be kind of a fun one. So let's get the spelling of Savines right. Oops, that's not how you do that. So here's Savine, just a Savine, eh? Prevent all damage to be dealt to Savine. When you cast your first instant or sorcerer spell from your graveyard each turn, copy that spell. You may choose new target. So, Savine is also like a returns things card. Okay. So we'll throw Savine's Reclamation Sage. I think that's how you spell Reclamation Sage. Nope, actually that's probably wrong. So we'll just cheat a little bit here. And I think this is pretty obviously a green, a white, and a colorless. Man, that's tight. So Rexage comes back and, or it's Rexage enters and kills something. Savine's Reclamation brings something back. So it's almost kind of like a Rexage and an Eternal Witness in one. Or it's a Reclamation Sage with flashback. So we'll start with a 2-1 power toughness because that seems about right. So it's almost like be like a harmonic sliver with flashback. So at this point it'd be straight up better. Maybe we should make it legendary. Oh, and then we have to go to, I might have to give, it was our first creature. So let's see. Savine is a human wizard. Rexage is an elf shaman. So elf shaman wizard. I mean, a shaman is kind of a wizard, right? Maybe an elf human. You can't really have an elf human. Could have a shaman wizard. Yeah, let's just have a shaman wizard. I think that's fine. We don't need this elf part in here. Shaman wizard. All right. So it's going to I should look up how enter the battlefield things work. Yeah, so it just says when it enters the battlefield. We'll copy that. No point. Work smart, not hard, they say. Right. When Savines, Reclamation, cedh enters the battlefield. I just love that name. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Right. And then flashback. How does flashback work? I'm going to have to look up flashback just to get the wording right. I don't know if this is going to find it. Rules text flashback. I mean, I could just put in the name of a card, like, I don't even know. Okay, so flashback cost. Here's a good one. Throw that in there. Flashback. Okay, perfect. Maybe a white, a green, and 3. How does that look? Straight up better than, well, it's not straight up better than Rex Age, because Rex Age is only green. Yeah. Savines Reclamation Sage. I feel like this is good. It's not doing the Savine thing aside from it has flashback. But that could be okay. It doesn't need to be broken, right? So now we need to find, what does Savine's Reclamation look like? So we have wizard with what kind of looks like a wizard with dreadlocks in Savine's Reclamations. I wonder if we can find a wizard with dreadlocks. I bet that's not on a magic card already. Like, man, look at all this amazing original art people make. Oh, it's a Glycy print. Oh yeah, it's already a magic card though. Yeah, when you search for wizard, you're gonna find a lot of magic cards. Man, I don't know if this is already a magic card, but damn, I love this art. This is Deadlock. Did I type in Deadlock? Oh, I did. I meant to put in Dreadlock. That's funny. Yeah, what is this from? Is this from like somebody's comic, graphic novel? Yeah, 225 issues. That's a cool picture. I just don't think, can we find the artist on this? I mean, this kind of looks like it'd be a cool. Would look kind of cool. By Rasta Dreads. I don't think we can save this image this way. But we'll save it this way. Let's see what it looks like here. how this looks. Savines Reclamation Sage. The artist. Yeah, you know, I think that works actually. That the gold in the face matches the gold border. Okay, I think we can put a pin in that, and we'll look at the next card. Again, we can always come back to these and decide. Okay, so let's make a land, and it's going to be a legendary land. And to be inspired by Gaia's Cradle. Gaia's Embrace. We just really want to. I wonder if we can go Greenland. Yeah, that works. Gaia's Embrace, kind of like Gaia's Cradle. It's gonna be crazy though. Definitely gonna be a rare. And it's gonna add a green for each creature in play. Oops. That's probably not how that goes. Tap, add a green. Add a green for each creature in play. What does actual Cradle look like? Tap, colon, right. How do I fix this again? Oh. But there's a way to turn that into a mana. There we go. Tap, add a green for each creature in play. So obviously this is just straight up better than Gaia's Cradle. How do we make it fair and balanced? That is the rub. Gaia's Cradle is like a baby cradle, but it's also like a part of the forest. Maybe that's kind of like hidden away. Gaia Seclusion. How do you spell seclusion? I think that's right. Maybe, no. This is how you spell it. SECL. There we go. Gaia Seclusion. Okay, I like that. So thematically, this mana may only be spent on the next creature you cast this turn. This mana may only be spent. So let's look up Castle Garenbrig just to check the wording. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells. I always like using the proper wording whenever possible because it actually matters. And this spend this mana only to cast the next creature spell this turn. Your next creature spell. Add 6, spend this mana. Okay, that looks pretty good. We don't have any art yet, but that's okay. Spend this mana, only cast your next creature spell. Now we have to find some art for this, so we'll go back here. We're going to go painting as always. Secluded forest. Okay. These all look very similar. A lot of Bob Ross. This is kind of cool. Do we have an artist name on this? Yes, we do. And I like it. Obviously, the art is very important in a Magic card. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Gaia Seclusion. What do you think? Is this a keeper? You can let me know in the comments what you think of these cards. If they need, what would you change? You know, what would you add or take away or do differently? And if I have to agree, then I might just have to go back and change the card. I think I got time for one more card. Let's see here. Okay, this is one I've been thinking about. So this is a 1 blue. Counters a creature. I may have already made this card though. Let me just double check here. Let me just double check. Oh yeah. I have already made this card. Okay, so oh, did I lose? I think I lost. Let me just fix this. Seem to have lost the proper Magic editor. There we go. One, two, three, four, five. So we have this one, but yeah, I think we've already made this card. So it's basically it counters a non-legendary or non-artifact creature, something like that. But like I say, I've already made it. There's the Everything is Awesome card in Riches Wonder or Wonder of Riches. And Wonder of Riches is kind of a cool name. So let's get rid of this. So Wonder of Riches. So let's make this. Let's make this a sorcery. We haven't made a sorcery yet. And this is going to be like gives you stuff. Gives you mana or gives you cards. I guess cards and mana would be pretty sick. Lands is pretty good. How about something of everything? So draw a card, ramp, search for a basic into play. I'll fix that later. Ramp. Draw a card. You get a land. Gain 2 life. really want to add mana. Ramping is kind of the cool thing. So let's make it draw 2 cards. Ramp. There put 2 basic lands into play. I don't think there's a keyword for that. Gain 2 life. What else can you... Taking an extra turn, or putting something into play. Yep, put a 2 mana value permanent into play from your hand. Put a card with 2 mana value or less. Put a permanent card with 2 mana value or less into play from your hand. Maybe don't need this ramp. Is that good enough? What else could you get 2 of? I really want to add mana. I guess if we're not doing the ramp thing. Guess add 2 mana of any color to your mana pool. Actually add 2 mana. Maybe add 2. There we go. That's better. Add 2 colorless. Draw 2 cards. Gain 2 life. Wonder of Riches. What we got? So probably a blue card and a white card. It's probably going to be not cheap. So essentially this costs 4 if it's giving you 2 colorless mana. Gaining 2 life, which is like kind of okay. Drawing 2 cards for 6 isn't great, but again, you're getting the 2 mana, so it's really 4, and you're getting to put a permanent card with 2 mana value or less into play. If it was 5 mana, it'd be probably maybe too good. It's doing 4 things essentially, and it's costing 2 less than it would. I think 6 is probably okay. With mana, so I'll probably change the wording here. With mana value 2 or less. All right, well, let's find some art. So let's go painting, go riches. See what that looks like. I mean, I'm sure we'll find all kinds of hits. Could do a Disney homage, but probably not. And it would go wonder as well. I like throwing in that word. Oh, that's just a cool. That's a cool picture. Not really appropriate, but that's pretty cool. Resolution on that, it's very strange. Kind of like this. You can save the name here, which is good. I assume that, actually I kind of like that. Let's pick that up. And then we'll throw the name down. Then we'll import the image. It did not show up for some reason. Weird. Why is it not showing up? Oh, it's showing up there. Let's change the name. Maybe that'll help. That's not showing up. Oh, I have to search JPEG for specifically. Okay, there we go. Fix the aspect ratio on this a little bit. It's a tough one. I get like a lot of this in here. Okay. Totally modifying the art. I apologize. You got to do what you got to do to like get the card that you want, right? Well, that's a pretty interesting looking card. I don't know if people will play it. I don't know if people would play it, but I think that's good. I think it's playable. It's tough. Maybe if it was an instant, but then if it's instant, you're kind of cheating this into play. 2 life is just not that exciting. That's okay. That's good enough for now anyway. So there we go. We've been doing this for about an hour, and I think what we've accomplished is pretty cool. So let's go through the cards again. We'll just double check. So Bioessence, it's a Necropotence for green. It's 3 green, and it's an enchantment, and you skip your draw step, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, you reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-creature card. You exile those cards. At the beginning of your end step, put the exile cards into your hand. And if you would discard a card, you shuffle that card into your library. And then next we have Gaia's Seclusion, however you like it. Taps for a mana for each creature in play, but you may only spend that on your next creature spell. So that's just going to limit how good that ends up being. So I think that's kind of fair. We make sure we credit all the artists here. Okay. Mana Crisp, a 1 mana Lotus for 2-ish. If it's your turn, it enters tapped. So if it's an opponent's turn, you can cheat this into play untapped. You sacrifice it, you add 2 mana of any one color to your mana pool. I like the color. I'd almost like to go, we could do old style. This doesn't look quite as good. Yeah, I think we'll have to go with modern style. Ugh, that color. Can I change the color of this? Because I don't know about that color. Take off artifact. I mean, that looks a bit better. That's a land. We don't want it to be a land. I almost like that better, but we'll just go for original style. So that's Mana Crisp. Okay, next we have Savines Reclamation Sage. It's like a fun card that I wanted to put together. So it's a 2/1 for 3. Enters the battlefield, destroys target artifact or enchantment like Rec Sage does. And there's like flashback for 5, like Savine does. So it's a little best of both worlds, a little combination there. And then we have Tevesh Zat, Hidden Evil. It's a Planeswalker for 2, costs 3 mana. I guess I'm probably supposed to put like its name in here or something. Can't remember how Planeswalkers look. I'll just see if I can't find up one quick here. And yeah, so I mean Tevesh is probably the one I should be looking at. And it is, oh, it says that is its style, is a Savat. Let's throw that in there. So we're going to sacrifice a permanent to uptick. We're going to discard a card to uptick. Probably swap those around, actually. because they're the same anyway. Discard a card, sacrifice a permanent, return to play all permanents in your graveyard. You have to say under your control. Return to play under your control. All permanent cards in your graveyard. This is a great program, by the way. This is MTG set editor, Magic set editor. Turn to play under your control all permanent cards in your graveyard. I don't know if I need this under your control qualifier. Turn to play all permanent cards in your graveyard. That's pretty good. And it works with the first two. And maybe it's too strong. It should be a 4-drop. I don't know, eh? That's a tough call. We'll leave it at 3 for now. And then finally we have Wonder of Riches. 6 mana, sorcery, add 2 colorless, gain 2 life, draw 2 cards, put a permanent card with mana value 2 or less into play from your hand. So there you go. Thanks for joining me today and making some magic cards. I'm not sure if I'll do this again next week. Maybe. Maybe I'll try and do something else. Maybe I'll do a deck build. Try to do something for creative, something creative for Mondays. Start your week off on a high note. So yeah, thanks again for joining us. And if you like more of this content, just let me know. You can tweet at EDH42069. And you can follow us on Twitch and YouTube at EDH420. And yeah, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.